Narasimhavatara. In an earlier episode, my daughter Nitya Venkatraman presented the story of Varahavatara, the third incarnation of Lord Vishnu. She will now present the story of Narasimhavatara. There are 10 incarnations of Vishnu, and in the earlier episodes, we have covered the introduction part and the first 3 incarnations. This episode deals with the story of the 4th incarnation.
Om Namo Narayanaya. I told you earlier that at the time of creation of the world, Lord Brahma created 4 sons from out of his mind called the Sanat Kumaras. These 4 Sanat Kumaras, though of great intellectual status, were looking like 5-year-old kids. Once they visited Vaikuntha, the abode of Lord Vishnu, where the gatekeepers named Jaya and Vijaya stopped them from meeting Lord Vishnu. The enraged Sanat Kumaras cursed them to be born as mortals on earth. As the curse could not be undone, Lord Vishnu gave them an option of returning back to Vaikuntha after spending either 7 births as his devotees or 3 births as his enemies. As Jaya and Vijaya wanted to get back to Vaikuntha early, they preferred the latter option of spending 3 births as enemies of Lord Vishnu. Accordingly, in their first birth, they were born as brothers Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyaksha, remember, dragged Mother Earth and hid her at the bottom of the cosmic ocean to prevent the Devas from becoming powerful, and Lord Vishnu took the Varaha Avatara and annihilated Hiranyaksha. Now what happened? After the death of Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu started hating Vishnu. He decided to get mystical powers so that he could not get the same fate as his younger brother. So he did penance and austerities, praying to Lord Brahma, the creator, thinking that a boon from Brahma would get him immortality. Brahma appeared before Hiranyakashipu and offered him a boon of his choice. But when Hiranyakashipu asked for immortality, Brahma refused, saying that no human being can ever get immortality. Pertinent point. There is no one who can be alive all the time. Hiranyakashipu then made a very elaborate demand as the boon from Brahma. He said, "Fine, you will not give me immortality, but," he asked like this, "I should not meet death from any of the living entities created by you. I should also not die by any other being other than those created by you. I should not die by any human being or animal. I should not die within any residence or outside any residence. I should not die during the daytime or at night. I should not die on the ground or in the sky. I should not die through any weapon. I should not meet the death from any entity, whether it is living or non-living. I should not be killed by any demigod or demon or by any great snake from the lower planets. Also grant me the benediction that I may have no rival. Give me the sole lordship over all the living entities and presiding deities, and give me all the glories obtained by that position." Hiranyakashipu thought he was being very smart. he probably listed everything possible that would have given him death and asked Brahma, saying that please let me not die of any of these things. It was probably his way of thinking how to avoid death. Brahma, being the benefactor, said Tatastu. Okay, so be it. Hiranyakashipu had a son called Prahlada. But in spite of all the demonic virtues that he had, Prahlada from his infancy was devoted to Lord Vishnu, the Almighty God. Hiranyakashipu obviously did not like this. He was a demon and his son favored his most scorned enemy. He feared that the Vishnu whom he wanted to drive away from the world would crop up in his own family. So he sent Prahlada to 2 teachers. He gave very strict instructions to these teachers. Mind you, Prahlada should never think of Vishnu. The teachers took Prahlada to their home and he was put to study with the other children of his age. But little Prahlada, instead of learning from his books, devoted all the time in teaching the other boys how to worship Lord Vishnu. When the teachers found it out, they got frightened. Hiranyakashipu would obviously be very angry with them. So they tried their best to dissuade Prahlada from such teachings. But Prahlada, though small, was firm and did not stop his teaching and worshipping Vishnu. The teachers rushed to Hiranyakashipu and told him, your son is not only worshipping Vishnu himself, but he is also spoiling all the other children by teaching them to worship Vishnu. Hiranyakashipu became very angry. Prahlada was his son, so he tried by gentle persuasions to dissuade him from the worship of Vishnu and taught him that he, the king, was the only god to worship. But it was of no purpose. The child declared again and again that the omnipresent Vishnu, Lord of the universe, was the only being to be worshipped. For even he, the king, held his throne only so long as it pleased Vishnu. The rage of Hiranyakashipu reached its peak. He ordered the boy immediately to be killed. Anger can do these things. It can blind you. So the servants of the king struck him with pointed weapons. But Prahlada's mind was so intent upon Vishnu that he felt no pain from them. Hiranyakashipu then resorted to various diabolical means to kill his own son. He ordered the boy to be trampled underfoot by an elephant. But know what happened? The elephant did not do as was ordered by the king's servants. Hiranyakashipu then called his demoness sister, called Holika, for help. Holika had a distinctive cloak that when worn prevented her from being harmed by fire. By preparing a bonfire, Hiranyakashipu asked Holika to sit with his son Prahlada in her lap in the hope that Prahlada will become a victim to fire and Holika, since she had the cloak, will escape. Without any fear of death, Prahlada sat on the lap of Holika and started chanting the name of Lord Vishnu. The fire grew, crackling under a strong breeze which started swaying the cloak. The cloak flew from Holika and covered Prahlada. It was then that Holika was charred to death and Prahlada remained unharmed. Till date, a lot of people celebrate this event as Holika Dahan, the day fire refused to touch a young devotee but burnt the evil Holika. Hiranyakashipu found to his horror that all mortal means of getting rid of the boy were powerless, and he was at a loss to know what to do. He had the boy brought again before him, and he tried to persuade him once more to listen to his advice through gentle means. But Prahlada made the same reply. Vishnu is the ultimate God. The anger of Hiranyakashipu reached his crescendo. He brought a big sword, stood before young Prahlada and roared, I myself will kill you now. But Prahlada stood calm and serene. Hiranyakashipu abused Vishnu in the worst language, but Prahlada still insisted that Vishnu was the Lord of the universe, the beginningless, the endless, the omnipotent and the omnipresent, and as such he alone was to be worshipped. In his anger, showing a pillar before him, Hiranyakashipu roared with anger and said, O idiotic Prahlada, if your Vishnu is omnipresent, is he there in this pillar? Prahlada humbly said with confidence, Yes, he is very much there. If so, cried the king, let him defend you, because I am going to kill you with this sword. Thus saying, the king rushed at his own son, sword in hand, and dealt a terrible blow to the pillar. Instantly, a thundering voice was heard, and lo, there issued forth from the pillar an awful form, half lion, half man. It was Lord Vishnu in the form of Narasimha. Narasimha, half lion, half man, roared angrily. The demon king Hiranyakashipu tried his best to escape from Narasimha. But Narasimha caught hold of Hiranyakashipu and dragged him towards the threshold of the palace. It was neither day nor night. It was a twilight time. Narasimha sat at the threshold. It was a threshold neither inside or outside the palace. Narasimha placed Hiranyakashipu on his lap. It was neither on the earth nor in the air. Narasimha used his sharp nails and tore away the body of Hiranyakashipu. No arms were used. The boon as given by Lord Brahma was fulfilled, but they were all of no use to Hiranyakashipu. Such is the might of Lord Vishnu. Such is the way of the divine. Even with the choicest of blessings, the blessing of the divine is all that matters. Even after Hiranyakashipu was killed, Lord Narasimha was full of fury. The gods and goddesses who were witnessing this tried to pacify him, but they could not do so. So all the gods and goddesses called Lakshmi, the consort of Lord Vishnu, to try and pacify him. But even goddess Lakshmi could not succeed. Then at the request of Brahma, Prahlada was presented to Lord Narasimha. When Prahlada touched the feet of Lord Narasimha, his fury subsided. Lord Narasimha then asked Prahlada to seek some boon. Prahlada, a true devotee, said, You are my true Lord. If you wish to grant me a boon, kindly bless me that no desire may arise in my mind for anything. Prahlada also prayed for the elevation of his father to the lotus feet of the Lord. Now that's a true devotee. Lord Narasimha then made Prahlada the king and instructed him to follow good conduct and do his duties. Thus blessing him, the Lord returned to Vaikuntha.
Please also visit my website at www.ramanitya.com.